apparently made of bodies, mushed together into an almost pasty substance, seemingly petrified ages later when we the Tarnished explore the area. Even the tower itself appears to be made out of bodies. And what's more is that all of these bodies appear to be Hornsent. We also know that the Hornsent societies were based off of a class system, meaning there were both of those considered higher status and lower status, and therefore less valuable than others. And I can only assume that these bodies are in fact the lower class of the Hornsent. Furthermore though, Enir Ilum is also known as the Spiral Tower, and its many tower priests worship a force known as the Spiral, influencing many of the designs we can see around the tower and empowering many of the incantations learned in the Land of Shadow. And according to the incantation known as Spira, the Spiral is blatantly a crucible current that they believed would one day form a column upwards to the realm of the gods. So, in my opinion, it would make sense if the Spiral Tower, which is associated with the Spiral, which is a current of the Crucible, which is a powerful substance gained from the melted together forms of life, is therefore the location of the Crucible. Because remember that the Crucible is known as the primordial form of the Erd Tree, and the Gate of Divinity, which is an enormously powerful structure made out of a bunch of bodies that empowers spiral incantations, is also the place where Queen Marika created the Erd Tree. And what I'm trying to say with all of this is that it's very possible that the Gate of Divinity literally is the crucible of the Erd Tree, and it was most likely created by the Hornsent, who discovered somehow about the powers behind crucibles. But we'll come back to that later on in the video. No matter what you believe regarding the connections between the Spiral and the Crucible, the undeniable point here is that the Hornsent worship the Crucible and its evolutionary ideals, and this is most likely why they value their horns. They view them as a sign of refinement and evolutionary progress above other normal humans. Like I mentioned earlier though, the Hornsent are clearly deeply religious, and this is why we encounter their tower festival activities firsthand in the form of the Divine Beast bosses and Divine Beast warriors. But in addition to worshipping the Crucible and the Spiral and the Storm, these fanatics were also obsessed with forcing evolution on themselves in order to invoke transformations, which to them was the same as invoking divinity. Because of this, they were more than capable of harming others, as we've seen, or even themselves out of their zealous religious beliefs. They firmly believed in the importance of one's spirit more than one's physical body, which is why they could sacrifice a whole bunch of themselves to create the Crucible, and is also what led to their firm resentment against the power of the Frenzied Flame. They even sealed it away within the body of Mithra, because the flame of frenzy has the power to burn away both the body and the spirit, apparently without the need of the Rune of Death at all. Many of them would try to become what they referred to as tutelary deities, which means a protector deity, and for whatever reason they believed that living life as an ascetic, or in other words a severely self-disciplined monk, would achieve them spiritual refinement and therefore this tutelary deity status. These monks would even go so far as to literally take part in self-flagellating dances, aka dances where you physically inflict harm on yourself as a part of their journey towards tutelarism. That's a fun word to say. In order to officially become one of these tutelary dudes though, you would have to eventually